This is Bosi Sigi. I'm your facilitator of the session. We are going to discuss on the ways in which private schools may boost their student enrollment. It's good to note that when we talk about enrollment, it's like we are pointing to the bread and butter of every school. Everything that you are doing in your institution will entirely depend on how you are growing your students' number. If your number of learners are going up, then everything else is okay. So, our discussion questions that will guide us today are three. Number one is, why is student enrollment important to your school? Number two, is your school hurting with low student enrollment? And guiding question number three, which top strategies can you use to boost new student enrollment in your school? Therefore, with this, it means as we go through, any of these questions may be of relevance as we proceed, because they are covering part of your goals and they are pointing to your desires as the school entrepreneur and director. Maureen, why is student enrollment important in your school?
It's important because without the numbers, there's nothing you can run. You need the money, and for you to get the money to run the school, you need the enrollment. So with the low enrollment, it means the income you get in the school is little. Thus, it's not possible to pay teachers well and also to run the school properly.
Good, thank you. Teacher Pamela, is your school hurting with low student enrollment?
Very hurting because when we have few children enrolled in my school, that means even the teachers, when you employ teachers, they are not going to get salaries because we are not going to get enough money to pay the wherever the salaries, and also even to run the school. And also it's embarrassing because if you have few children, you feel like the school is not enough. I think there's pride when you run a big school, and you feel good when you are running a big school. So I think it's very hurting with low school enrollment because it's not good.
There is that inferiority. You feel like, why not my school? Whether your school is new, whether your school is small, or in some cases, those well-established schools, you will agree that there are so much in our plan that is not fulfilled because we depend on the fee, on the revenue, on the income that comes with more learners. That is why this session is so essential that we have to take note of some of the strategies that we can use to improve and increase and boost the enrollment. It is an ambitious step to learn and share with your own experience what works and what needs adjustment. I'll share 9 strategies. The first one under it is develop and share your school brand. When we say a brand, what comes in your mind? A director will tell me is my logo, or maybe it is my mascot. Some of them will say that their brand is the school uniform. Yeah. and so forth and so on. Those are only symbols that can be identified or attached to your school. But when I say a brand, in this case, we mean what helps you to stand out from the rest of the neighboring schools. There is something you can focus and invest in that can make your school stand out from the rest of the schools in your area. When we talk about a brand, this is what will make you so unique. It will define your school identically. Even when people are talking about your school, whatever your brand is what will help them distinguish and make your school look different. You can build your brand around 5. Number 1, you may focus with sports. You may build sports teams. I'll give an example. When we talk about music, there is a school called Magoso. I don't know if you know it. Actually, it takes even national competition trophies in music. So when you say Magoso, what comes in the mind of everybody? It's music. Hawa watu wanajua muziki. Hawa watoto wanacheza traditional music, dance. They know how to play those instruments. They know how to hit the drums, to play the flute. Umefunga macho utafikiri it's a national band. So the school has focused, sponsored, invested in music in a way that if you have to say music or Magoso, you cannot differentiate the two. There is a student who will be interested to join that school because of what? Music. Special teams like football, karate, taekwondo, things like those ones. You can build your brand around that. Number 2, you can also build your brand around unique classes, things like ICT, guidance and counseling, foreign languages, religious courses. So your school will be known like they are doing very well, maybe with foreign languages. But when you talk about discipline, religion, or something like to do foreign languages, computer, they remember your school. Number 3, fun games. Some of you are blessed with things like bouncing castle, swings, merry-go-rounds. Uko na gani, Teacher Florence?
Niko na bouncing castle.
Imagine you can use bouncing castle to admit more students. Allow it to the community. Let them come, let them play, let them enjoy, although with a person to guide them. As they do that, kuna mtoto amezoea kucheza kwa compound yako to an extent that hata tamani kurudi kwa shule ingine. Shule yao ina bouncing castle. In fact, you will win the kid you could not have won. And to draw your attention to this, do you know how clever public schools are? Unakumbuka ukiwa mtoto, hata wewe, hata saizi, hata watoto wako. Now that playing grounds are not many, watoto wengi saizi wanaenda kucheza in which fields? In public schools. That's the answer. Na wewe unaweza sema tu, hii public school, because it's a public school, it is allowing kids to play. My friend, mtoto saa zile atataka kwenda shule, atakumbuka nishawahi cheza kwa hii shule. They have attached themselves to the school. So it is a long-term way in which the more you involve the community in what you do best, the more they associate you with it, and they take it as a brand, and in fact, some of them will join your school because of it. Number 4, we have things like financial aid. Financial aids are forums and opportunities you give to the community so that they can have better ways to manage their finances. For example, you can open a school chama. You can do a merry-go-round, open a circle, you can do welfares. And these parents, as they are engaging in those activities, wanasema, ninaenda Big Pen Academy, tuko na chama saa hii za 8. I am rushing 9. Oh, wako na chama eh. So as they start conversing on what they are coming to do in your school, they are putting the name of your school in their tongue. Na hivyo ndio vile unakuwa na brand kwamba they can associate you with small groups, merry-go-rounds, chamas, and so forth and so on. The last example, because I know you can do better than that, you can also open reputable clubs in your school, like environmental conservation clubs, things like garbage collection, if you are in an area that needs such in your area. Saizi tuko na vitu za kama za tree planting. We have things like movements that are going against plastic. So when they hear something to do with green environment, wanakumbuka, oh, kuna shule ambayo iko hii area ina deal na the green environment. So it is very advisable you choose one activity, invest in it slowly. Sasa usichukue savings zote paka za kulipa walimu unapeleka kwa one activity. It's slowly. Kama umeamua ni football, nunua mpira moja ya 1500. Pole wacheze na hiyo. Kama bado you are organizing maybe what? Goalposts, kama bado una organize the jerseys, bado una organize a coach to do that, and so forth and so on. So do it as pole, but with a consistent momentum. Always, when you are doing this, you will see how the community will be so much interested to join your ambassador groups. You can create some parents to be ambassadors for enrolling, for talking about your school, so that you can get more new enrollment, because they feel attached to your school and they feel there is a way your school is so helpful to their children and some extent to even their own household. Imagine kama ako kwa chama ya shule yako, amepata pesa ya chama, amenunua shamba, ama hata because remember school has a good number of parents. Amelipia mtoto shule. Ametoa mgonjwa hospitali. We are talking about impacting the lives of those ones who are involved in your passionate activities. Do you think huyo mtu akisikia mzazi anatafuta where to enroll a new kid, their kid in a school, atakosa kuongea kuhusu shule yako? Atazungumzia, sio? So this is one of the 9 strategies that you can use. So the next one we shall discuss in our next session. Number 2. I had already said number 2. Kuna ule anakumbuka?
Yes.
Yes. Mr. John?
Strong leadership and the staff.
Yes. Providing strong leadership and staff.
Yeah, and staff. Yeah.
Yes. Florence, yes, you have unmute yourself. Please ask.
Nauliza, what if about now building my school brand?
Yes.
I have parents in the merry-go-round.
Yes.
and maybe hawajatoa chama na maybe washakula na imefika wakati maybe wameama ile shule na wameenda, what can I do with them, please?
That one is a very sensitive question, but it is always manageable. When you are creating your brand for your school and you decide, I want my school to be financially assisting or supporting parents to manage their resources, you should set guidelines to follow, because be sure that whoever you are including in the circle, in the chama, in the merry-go-round, is a parent, number one, who payments history in the school is predictable and reliable. That's why that day I said, don't go in the meeting of parents, maybe you have parents meeting generally, and then you stand in front of them and say, mimi director wenu sasa inasema sisi wote tuingie kwa vyama. If you do that, hata ule mwenye ako na deni ya 7,000, 14,000, 20,000 akiingia hapo na amwagiwa akote namba wa kwanza, what do you think will happen? Akishapata second time utamuona anaenda na pesa ya wazazi wengine. So the basic guideline is, number one, include a handful of parents, the ones that you know. These ones, according to the history of their payment, wamekuwa reliable. And there is no school with all parents who are unreliable. Hakuna. At least you can get one in playgroup, another one in PP1, another one in PP2. So you speak with them pole, unawaita one on one, ama unawaongelesha kwanza, unaanza kuwa sensitive mapema. And as we have just finished to say, put a plan. Don't just say nataka nianze this first term without sensitizing them, without giving them the opportunity to understand what exactly is your intention. That you group parents to the timeline of the term. Unaweza kuwa uko na so many trusted parents, by the way. Out of 400, you get maybe 50 of them wanaweza kuwa in this something like this. So kama merry-go-round ni once per month, maybe wanamwagiana pesa or something, you need 50 months to go round. Instead of having every parent getting per month, you can cluster them. You can group them into group 1, 2, 3, 4, or group A, B, or green, yellow, or you can give them names so that they can rotate within a term. Ni kitu wanaenda term ikiisha, term ikisonga wamemaliza. So it's something that you can say, mkikaa hii term iko na miezi 3, so mkikaa mnagawia watu wawili, so those ones are 6 people in this term. So it means you group them in groups of 6, 6, 6. All right. So if you have 50 who are interested, those ones are 8 groups. The more they get interested in it, and you can check their records and the fundamentals you are setting down, they are meeting all of them. So what you do, you group them so that all of them can be accommodated. But they can, hiyo term ikiisha, when you are closing, mmefunga kama mmefunga vitabu. So it is not something like, oh, mwenye amepata hii term kuna mwingine atapata next term. That one will put you in trouble. Number 3, remember to listen. When I say listen, hawa wazazi wanajuana. They'll give you red flags. And these red flags, if they share to you, usiwe mtu wa kuassume, sisikize. And set rules za kwamba ukisikia kitu kama fulani ambayo it is intimidating the whole program, you can easily set off that member in a peaceful way, ama unamweka kwa condition akuwe namba ya mwisho. Kuna mzazi mnamwekea namba ya mwisho because kulingana na ile mnamshuku even if ako kwa hiyo forum, because sometimes anakuletea watoto wengi kwa shule ndio, lakini umepata alert kwamba huyu akipata wa kwanza hatalipa, so weka yeye wa mwisho, number 9. The rest common sense, setting deadlines, doing follow up, having leadership, selecting things like administrative units of every group, and the more you engage with them, the more they trust you, the more they feel so close to you, and the more they take what you say as command. I'm saying command in quotes. A director who is influential has a command. Kuna director akitaka harambee ya 1 million anaifanya within 3 months, lakini kuna mwingine akitaka hata tu ya 100,000 ina fail 4 times. So the more you are close to them, you know that you should understand how to mobilize people and how to get hold of their trust in your hands and command them. So in those meetings, hata kama utadelegate watu wa kusimamia, but make sure you are present. There are things you as a leader you can see and correct. You can advise. You can give the way forward.